What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Madden 23 Lions franchise that we've been doing. So, as you can see here, we made a trade with the Chargers to get Albert O and Malik Willis off the team in exchange for a couple of draft picks. Also, we're taking a look at extending a couple of players, and the first person we want to extend, of course, is Patrick Surtain, who's having an insane season, leading the NFL in interceptions. And so we re-signed him to a pretty massive deal, and that cuts our salary cap from like the mid 50s, mid 50 million down to 36 mil, and then we re-sign Trey Hendrickson here. Going into the game against the Buccaneers, we're going to be playing against Dak Prescott, and they also have a rookie halfback named Frank Vickers. They also have some good wide receivers. They have T. Higgins on the team, as well as John Mechie and Josh Reynolds. And unfortunately, yes, again, this is going to be a commentary after the fact because we could not get audio on the mic during the game. But as you saw there, they also have Mark Andrews on the team. They have Azeez Ojulari. They have a really good offense full of a bunch of weapons. On defense, they also have Uchenna Nwosu, Marshawn Lattimore, J.C. Horn. So two of their top corners are very good. But then after that, it drops off a little bit with, I think his name is Kalon Barnes. And then, yeah, so they have a bunch of, high 60 overall corners afterwards. They have Andre Sisco at free safety, and at strong safety, they have Von Bell. So they've got a good set of DBs on the team. On the first play of the game, though, the crazy thing is Surtain, again, we were talking about him and getting that contract extension. As soon as he does that, he gets a pick six on the first play of the game, showing exactly why we re-signed him. Only 24 years old, I believe, at this point. And, yeah, leading the NFL in interceptions, without a doubt, the best corner in our league. He has, I believe, at this time of recording, I don't want to say exactly how many picks he has because we're a little bit ahead. But on the next offensive series for the Buccaneers, another fumble forced. And this time, Baron Browning is going to return this one for the touchdown. But yeah, like I said, we're going to be playing two games in this video. So we're playing the Buccaneers in this game, and then the next game is going to be against, it's going to be a rematch against the Chargers. It's going to be a Super Bowl rematch, and I would stick around for that game. That was one that I was super excited to play, and I'm super upset that I didn't get a live recording of the game. But regardless, we're going to go through the highlights anyways, and obviously kind of show you guys what happened in that game coming up. But, yeah, stick around for that. That one's going to be a really good game. But this game here became a blowout pretty quickly. Up 21-0 at this point in the first quarter only. And almost getting another interception there is Tariq Woolen. But once again, Tariq not able to get his hands on the ball. There's so many chances where Tariq can easily go up, and all he has to do is, at 6'4", just jump over the receiver that's shorter than him most of the time, except, it was T. Higgins there. And just go up there and get the interception, but there's so many times where he just fails to do that. Finally, the Buccaneers come down, get one successful offensive drive together, and get a field goal. And then we do nothing with it on our next possession, and they get the ball back again here. John Mechie on the catch, picks up the first down, and they're in the red zone with 3 minutes left. And now in single back, they drop back on a slant, and Tariq completely whiffs on T. Higgins, and he takes it all the way into the end zone for the touchdown. So it's going to be a 10-21 game. They've come back from being down 21 points. But Jamison does a great job here getting yards after the catch. And we're going to try to go ahead and get one more touchdown before the end of the half and just kind of further secure our lead over the Buccaneers. Now down to the 9-yard line and kind of rolling out to the right. Cooper Kupp is wide open across the middle of the field. No safety help on the slant. And we score another touchdown before half, up 28-10 at this point. Here it's a little bit of like a fake read option, QB keeper, like a QB power play. And we don't really score on that drive, though. The Buccaneers get it back. We get a nice sack. And then on the next play, we get another sack when we actually force the fumble. And DeMarcus Lawrence is going to pick this one up, take it into the end zone for a touchdown to give us a 35-10 lead. And that was pretty much the end of the game. I'm going to be honest with you. There's some more highlights in this game, but, up 35-10 in the third quarter. This one is pretty much over at this point. Dak trying to make something happen. He actually evades the sack and completes the pass to John Mechie for the first down. But like I was saying, at this point, it is pretty much over, but Mark Andrews on the corner route, able to get the touchdown, make it look a little bit more respectable. Still, we have double as many points as them right now. trying to throw a corner route ourselves to Quentin Posey, but it's actually going to be short because Jake Zimmer's taking a hit as he's throwing the ball, but it ends up working out, going right to Posey, not throwing it too far and possibly being an interception. Jake Zimmer, again, using his legs to extend the play and is able to escape the pressure and pick up the first down. Now on 4th and goal here, we go for it, and this is a big mistake by Jake Zimmer, throwing it in the back of the end zone. It looked like the receiver was double covered there, and Andre Cisco comes up with the interception. Now Dak Prescott trying to escape the pass rush, but does take the sack from DeMarcus Lawrence, who had an insane game. We're going to go ahead and go over his stats after the game. But yeah, again, another sack there, and now it's 3rd and 18. We're only 5 minutes left in the 4th here, and another opportunity for an interception, that time for Surtain, but it ends up getting picked up for the catch. Now they're down at the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal, and we do come up with the sack again with DeMarcus Lawrence. 3.5 sacks at this point is insane. Running cover 2 man. This time, Surtain is able to get his hands on the ball, but he does kind of like trip up a little bit there in the end zone. So we take it out at the 1, and as soon as we take it out at the 1, we run a counter, which is a little bit of a slow play, and they get into the backfield and stop Ramondre for a loss. And that was kind of one of the themes of this game, is not having any ability to run the football. That's been an issue for us for most of the season, not really able to get Ramondre going, not able to get consistent yards. But here, another situation where, an underthrow, running out to his left, ends up working out, and T. Higgins scores the touchdown. And what was, a blowout has become a closer game, but we end up running the clock out with our next possession when we get the onside kick. Jake Zimmer with a 94 passer rating, 2 TDs and 1 interception. I don't know how his passer rating is worse than Dak Prescott's, but, only 160 passing yards. That's probably most likely why Dak Prescott ended up with 380. Rushing the football, Ramondre, 12 carries for 42 yards, averaging 3.5 per carry. No touchdowns for him. Only 1 broken tackle in the game. Receiving-wise, Quentin Posey, our number 1 target in this game, 5 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown. Doing a great job, outshining Mark Andrews a little bit. More yards and same amount of touchdowns. Antoine Andrews with 1 catch, Jamison with 3 catches. On defense, Christian Harris leading the way in total tackles by far. DeMarcus Lawrence at the number 2 spot because he has 6 tackles for loss, along with 3.5 sacks, which is absurd. Eric Stokes with 1 sack. Max Crosby with a sack, and then Nate Vasher with half of a sack. Interceptions, Patrick Surtain ended up with 2 interceptions in this game. Forced fumbles, DeMarcus Lawrence with 1 forced fumble and Christian Harris with 1 forced fumble. And I believe off of the forced fumble, we had a couple defensive touchdowns. So we had a pick 6 by Surtain, DeMarcus Lawrence with the defensive touchdown, and then we had 1 more defensive touchdown as well. Going into the player of the week after that game, DeMarcus Lawrence with 8 tackles, 3 sacks, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and a touchdown, which is just an insane stat line, and that is why he got Defensive Player of the Week in the NFC. Surtain with a player upgrade, and we're going to upgrade his zone a little bit. The reason why is because he actually already has 99-man coverage, so we're getting his zone coverage up a little bit more. Anything above 90 is fantastic, and he honestly checks all the boxes for a corner. There's nothing more that I really need to upgrade him for, but making him even more well-rounded doesn't hurt. Baron Browning with another zone upgrade. We decided to upgrade his pass coverage to keep him like a very balanced linebacker. Jake Zimmer gets an upgrade as well, and he's been getting a lot of upgrades pretty consistently. He gets an upgrade to his throw accuracy mid and his throw accuracy short. We're getting closer and closer to seeing what development trait he has, whether it's star or superstar X Factor. Looking at some of his stats, again, fantastic. His short accuracy is an 85 already. His medium is already an 81. His deep is only a 76, but he does throw really good deep balls. I'm waiting to see when he's going to get a speed upgrade. He has 89 speed right now and 88 excel. Quentin Posey gets an upgrade here, and we're going to upgrade his vertical threat just to get him to a 75 overall. Again, we want to upgrade his blocking as well, but he does get a pass block upgrade within this vertical threat upgrade anyways. But yeah, we want to upgrade his blocking to upgrade his run blocking a little bit so that he's a really good run blocking tight end, because we do want to be able to run it consistently. Lionel Hebert, our backup halfback, who has not gotten much playing time up to this point, also gets an upgrade as well to get him up to a 74 overall. Looking at his stats before we do the upgrade, he does have 91 speed and 90 excel already. He has decent break tackle. Stiff arm's not very good for being more of a power back. No spin move at all. But yeah, he's more of your traditional power back, but he has a little bit of speed to him as well. And so yeah, we're going to upgrade his power back because look at his receiving back. He only has a 50 in receiving, so he is never going to be much of a receiving back or a catching threat out of the backfield. Stephen Murphy, on the other hand, is primarily a receiving back, and he actually has a 39 as a power back. So we're going to continue to upgrade his elusiveness and his receiving because he is never going to be, a power back at 5'5". It's just not going to happen. We just don't need to worry about that at all. Colby Parkinson getting an upgrade. He's only a 70 overall, surprisingly, right now. The two main things to work on for him at 6'7" is his vertical threat and his possession. Possession is better for him mostly because he's not that fast of a tight end. So I like to upgrade his possession a little bit so he can get, his vertical, like in terms of just jumping up and like getting a catch over the defenders. That's what I usually like to upgrade for him. But we got a couple other upgrades for some of our other rookies. So Antoine Andrews, our really promising rookie wide receiver at 6'4" with hidden dev, 91 speed, 87 excel. Has a lot of opportunity to become the slot wide receiver for this team. We got an upgrade to his deep threat, so that's going to upgrade his release and his deep route running a little bit. Got a couple more upgrades. We got some for Nate Vasher. So Nate Vasher is our D tackle, our rookie that we drafted this year, who has almost no block shedding, but he's got pretty good finesse and power moves, I believe. And he's been a decent pass rush threat. But yeah, again, in terms of his ability to stop the run, it's almost non-existent. A 62 block shed only, but he's got high strength, pretty good excel. Going and looking at a few more players we're going to upgrade. I think at this point we are going to go ahead and just auto-upgrade the rest of them because we're just going to try to raise their overalls as much as possible. And now we finally get into what to me was the most important game of the season after losing to the Chargers in the Super Bowl. This was a huge game, kind of a prove-it game for Jake Zimmer because, we lost the game, obviously, in the Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins starting. And, I would have loved to have Kirk playing in this game, but, Jake Zimmer obviously took over the starting role, and he definitely deserves to continue to start. He has played very well. But, we're going to see if Jake Zimmer can put us over the edge and kind of make us compete with these top upper echelon teams in the NFL. Can we beat, the team that we lost to in the Super Bowl with a new quarterback? And here, Mercedes Lewis running a route, a very rare occasion for him. And it's a big gain, getting us down to their side of the field. Jake Zimmer, again, throwing a dot on cover 2 defense to Antoine Andrews, who carries his defender into the end zone. Had to break off one tackle before carrying the second defender. But yeah, a gritty play from Antoine Andrews after getting that last upgrade before this week started. Now the Chargers have the ball and a huge interception by Patrick Surtain. Patrick Surtain is essentially getting like one pick six a week at this point. He had one on the first play of the game against the Buccaneers, and here on the first possession for the Chargers gets a pick six. And here, trying to get up to Miles Sanders, it's going to end up being 4th and 3. They're going to punt it back to us. And we're running a little jet sweep for Jameson Williams. And up 14-0, Jameson just adds even more with another touchdown, taking it all the way on the jet sweep, which is rare. But when he has 99 speed and he's got great excel, you have to kind of utilize him, kind of moving left and right laterally across the field. And he's probably the best player that we have on the team that could be running a jet sweep. So it ended up working out really well for us, taking a 21-0 lead. And a lot of our games lately have been kind of blowouts. Here, Baron Browning gets beat on the kind of halfback out there. It's 1st and goal, and Tom Brady just kind of lofts it up to Devontae Smith, who was the #1 receiver for them in the Super Bowl, and they score a touchdown to make it 21-7. Here, Jake Zimmer faces some pressure and tries to throw out of the sack, but it ends up getting picked off. Doesn't quite make it to his intended target, which was Cooper Kupp. Tom Brady again in the red zone, takes a sack this time from Trey Hendrickson with his X Factor. So he loses X Factor there. They do end up with a field goal to make it 21-10, but on the very next possession for the Chargers, it was a little RPO, it seemed like, or a play action, and Eric Stokes was all over the receiver. Ends up getting it an easy interception. Here on the quick little post route, Cooper Kupp with the catch, getting us into the red zone, and Jake Zimmer throwing a dot in the seam. Against man coverage, Cooper Kupp just had beaten his defender. And here again on the next play, set of plays for the Chargers. Tom Brady with another uncharacteristic interception to give us a 31-10 lead with 2 minutes left in the third quarter, and again another turnover forced by this defense. Again, I cannot be more impressed with how well this defense has played. Kind of carrying over from the end of last season, how well they played. It was a little bit of a rough start to the season, the first couple of games, but they have absolutely turned it around. And we have a couple of defensive scores in the last 2 games. I think we have 4 or 5 defensive touchdowns. Tom Brady on 3rd and 6, able to finally get a completion to A.J. Dillon and pick up some yards, almost getting into the red zone. Here they are in the red zone on 3rd and 4, throwing it to the back left corner, scoring a touchdown to make it 38-17. Kind of very similar to how the game against the Buccaneers went. We were at one point up 35-17 against the Buccaneers, and here we're up 38-17. And really the thing is, our offense is not scoring, a ton of points. But here on 4th and 2, we decided to go for it, and we just wait for Cooper to kind of get open in single coverage, and finally he does score the touchdown. But, when we're forcing this many turnovers on defense, I continue to say it's very hard for us to lose a game when we're forcing, 3 or 4 turnovers per game, getting so many sacks as well. Without a doubt, we're the #1 defense in the NFL, and, we have the same sort of personnel to kind of match that. It's not like we're playing outside of kind of like our overalls or skill level. We're definitely probably one of the most stacked defenses in this league. But here you can see we end up winning the game. Wasn't all that close, and that's kind of what we wanted it to be. We win 45-24. Kind of show Tom Brady that he's gonna have to play a lot better if he wants to beat this new look Lions offense, because we can actually score points on offense this time. And we did actually really well. Jake Zimmer, 4 touchdowns and 1 interception with almost a perfect passer rating. Still only 250 passing yards. He does not have a whole lot of huge passing yard performances because we try to run it so much. You can see here Ramondre with 17 carries for only 28 yards. And Miles Sanders had a pretty similar performance. Not averaging a whole lot of yards. The run game was not really going for either team. Really, it was our defense and our passing game that kind of got us this blowout. Cooper Kupp with 5 catches for 77 yards and 2 TDs, and Jameson with 1 touchdown as well. Antoine Andrews with the 1 touchdown for 34 yards, where he kind of he dragged 2 defenders kind of with him into the end zone. Quentin Posey, what you probably didn't see, went down with an injury on his 1 catch of the game, lost 1 yard, and has an abdominal tear. And so we're not sure exactly how long he's going to be out at this point in the video. But looking at the defense, 7 total tackles. Leading the way was Kenneth Murray Jr. Sacks, Trey Hendrickson with 1.5, DeMarcus Lawrence with half of a sack. And then interceptions-wise, we know that Ryan Neal had 1 interception, Eric Stokes had 1, and then Surtain had a pick 6 as well. But yeah, we don't know exactly how long Quentin Posey is going to be out until we kind of look at the injury report. Isaiah Simmons with 1 for the forced fumbles. Touchdowns, Christian Harris with 1, and Surtain with his 1 pick 6. Looking at some of the upgrades, Moses Brackett gets an upgrade despite not really playing much. He may have been on kick returns this game. We're trying to get him some more opportunities to get on the field as our rookie wide receiver, along with Antoine Andrews that we traded for from the Cincinnati Bengals. He does have the speed to kind of fit as a kicker punt returner. He has 96 speed and 95 excel. So he definitely could excel at that. Antoine Andrews with another upgrade in back-to-back games, this time getting him to a 69 overall, just continuing to upgrade his deep threat. He gets +3 to deep route running. And again, he does not have very high medium or short route running. His deep route is pretty good, and his spec catch is not crazy at 87 overall. He's just kind of like a good all-around wide receiver. It's hard to kind of describe exactly what I would see him as. At 6'4", you'd think he'd be kind of a jump ball wide receiver, but he is not exactly in that mold right now. Christian Harris getting an upgrade, now up to a 71 overall without boosts. Charles Leno and Jameson still are getting upgrades, and for Charles Leno, I believe we just upgrade his pass protection as a tackle. It's pretty much the most important thing for him, is making sure that he can hold the edge and not get Jake Zimmer sacked. Jameson getting an upgrade. We're going to continue to upgrade his playmaker because it's going to get him an ability slot at 85 overall. And now looking at the injuries, so Kevin Zeitler is still out with an abdominal tear, and Quentin Posey is going to be out for 5 weeks with his abdominal tear, which is a huge blow, not only to our team and our offense, but also to his individual development. Having him out for that long is 5 weeks where he's not going to be getting upgrades. and continuing to develop alongside Jake Zimmer. Because up to this point, Posey has been Jake Zimmer's #1 target, and I think a lot of that comes from like their play together in the preseason as well, kind of developing that chemistry. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I was kind of unhappy that we had to do a post-game kind of commentary, not doing live commentary. We're going to do this for one more video where we're going to be playing against the Chiefs and the Broncos, but stick with me here. After that, we're going to be playing the Giants, and we're going to be back to our regular videos, okay? Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.